Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a little bit of a deep dive into our Notion client portal that we give to agencies for free. There's going to be a link down in the description if you guys want to use it. But we're pretty much just going to overview the tool, overview how to use the client portal, maybe even some of the benefits of it, and why we choose Notion. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so as you can see here, this is going to be the page you're met with whenever you click the template link. So we have a little bit of a nav menu over here. This will be how you go to all the different pages inside of your client portal. Same with your clients. And then you have, this is the home page right here, so you automatically get sent to the home page. It has just how to duplicate the template. So up here in the top right, you're going to have something that looks exactly like this. You're just going to want to click the two rectangles right there and then pick whichever workspace you want it to live in. And then next we have just a little welcome tab here that kind of gives like a little bit of a rundown again. And then finally, how this is free. So we give these client portals away for free because we use it as a lead magnet for small businesses. So we get a lot of people who want us to create full build outs for their company, and this is kind of how we entice them, so to speak. So once you get past all that, you're going to be met with this upcoming meetings tab. So this is just a calendar. It's like any old calendar. You can link it up with your normal calendar with Notion calendars. I know I just said calendar like 4 times, but that's pretty much what it is. It's calendar. You got two different views up here. Sorry, excuse me, three. So one of them is a timeline view that just looks a little bit different. So if you go to today, you'll see it like blocks it out just differently. And so let's go to like one of these. So you'll see you have a brand meeting, it's whatever, it's just a different view. And then you have the table. So we use the table. I prefer the table actually over the calendar view just for creating new, like actually creating new events. So you can just go down here, click new, fill out the attendees so you can like mention them if they're shared with the Notion page, and they should get a notification. And then you have the date and time, and then meeting link if it's on Zoom. Obviously, if it's on Zoom, you can change this and put like meeting place and have a place for an address for them to meet you in person. And then next you have what the topic's about. So this client portal we have designed right now is for a web design agency. So you're going to see a lot of stuff about like SEO, stuff like that. So the topics for this would be like bugs, bug fixing, next steps, final review, things like that. And then next to it, you have the type. So there's recurring meetings and emergency meetings right now. Obviously, there's a million different types of meetings, so whatever works best for your business, you can put in there. And then still on the home page, below that we have an actions dashboard. So this is just going to say like we need to do this by whenever. So we have semi-urgent. So like that means we need to get going on that. And then you have urgent. Right now we don't have any under that, but we have finished by end of the week, and then minor. So depending on the due dates on these, you'll see there's due dates down here. Will depend on if they're semi-urgent, finished by end of the week, minor, or urgent. So this is just kind of a good way to know like what tasks you have coming up, or like in this case, import customer personas. That's actually on their clients to import. And then over here we have just a little finish one. So once you complete it, of course, hit the completed tab, and it'll send it over here to finished, and then you can see what you've worked on so far. So now that we're done with the home page, we're gonna come on over here to about. So of course, everywhere you see client name, you're gonna want to replace that with your client's name. That's kind of a little obvious, I feel, but some people do miss that. So underneath your about section, you're going to go to your client's ABCs. Inside of this, you have the mission statement, the vision statement, and then also the goals for project. So this is really, if you're like a marketing agency, it's really good to understand their core values, and that'll help you better perform their campaigns. And then, of course, in goals, this is just what you want to accomplish. That way, both you and your client are on the same page, looking for the same results. So the ABC is pretty simple, just a good way to get aligned. Next, we have customer personas. So again, this will depend on what kind of agency you are if you use these, but this is just a way to understand, what their customer personas are and who you're trying to sell to. So again, if you're like a marketing agency or even a web design agency in this case, it does matter who their personas are, because you can really design their website to best fit them. So we just have 3 personas here that have different touch points, different frustrations, they're different types, but really just narrowing down on who they're selling to. So as you can see here, we have some psychographics for their target market, stuff like that. So again, each of these is different, but it just allows you to better understand who they're selling to. So after customer personas, we're going to go on down here to competitors. So this, at the beginning, we have some strategic pillars. So this is what makes us different from other people. Again, this is all for your client. So none of this is about your agency, but it's about what business your client does. So in this sense, the coding capabilities to add custom functions to our clients' websites, account managers for each client, and rapid response and servicing time for any maintenance. So say that this web design agency, again, this is all for a web design agency, but in this case, it should be different, because if this is a web design agency, their client's probably not going to be a web design agency, right? But it's just easier to keep it all in one way. So strategic pillars, we already went over that, but the competitors is next. So Squarespace would be an indirect competitor for them. Creative agency, that's just the direct competitor who does the exact same thing as them. And then OnePage, Shopify, Fiverr freelancers. So again, you kind of have just a way to understand your competitors, understand what kind of onboarding they're doing, what kind of product they are, and also what separates them. So next, we're going to go on down here. I want to make this bold really quick, just because that was frustrating me. But down here, we have a SWOT analysis. So this is it just takes a database view and does a SWOT board for you. So as you can see, some external strengths and opportunities are potential expansion into adjacent markets, so SEO, social media marketing, etc. Growing demand for high quality websites. Of course, the digital age that we're in, having a good website is, I would say, required. Some people might argue that, but I mean, you need a good website if you're going to be running a business right now, at least. And then next, we have increasing technologies that allows more offerings, so AI, automation, etc. So again, this is just going to be a SWOT table. I'm not going to go over each thing. You can look on that on your own, but it just helps you better understand your business, where your weaknesses are, your strengths are, really what you need to capitalize on. So next, we're going to go down here to team members. So again, this is just all the team members on the project. As you can see, when you click on their name, you get the title, which team they're on. So ABC Marketing versus Portofino Websites. So you'll put like your company name and then their company name, and you can assign teams and stuff. And then you have their contact info, so their email, phone, and then rules of engagement. So I like to call this rules of engagement, but this is pretty much just when you need to reach out or how you reach out. So it just allows you to not like call them at 9 p.m. if they really don't want to be called at 9 p.m. It's just a great place to set boundaries. And then kind of an icebreaker. I'm not a huge fan of icebreakers, but I don't think it's horrible to have like one little part on this entire thing. But it's just like a favorite activity, so you can somewhat better understand who you're working with. So as you can see, for each of these, it's going to be a little different. But again, just kind of set some boundaries, understand who you're working with in this partnership. So the next, once we get past about, we're going to go down to the project settings, section. So in the first part, we have meetings. So this is the linked database with the homepage, but it's just a page exactly for meetings. It's got the table view first, but you can switch these around, whatever you prefer. And then another thing that I forgot to add when we were looking at them is to add a attendee. I think we might have went over it a little bit, but it's really important to add your attendees, just so you get notifications and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. But yeah, again, just a calendar. Up here, you can put some rules, like schedule each meeting at least 3 days in advance, unless it's emergency, stuff like that. You can set your standards and expectations there. Next, we're going to look at the message board. So this isn't a true message board. This just shows you how to message on Notion. So in every single database and every single page, you can click on it and then add comments. So like you can see this little example for the website UI. It says, can you elaborate any further? Maybe we'll solve this without a meeting. So they're asking for a meeting up here. But again, this is just kind of how you can message without making every single thing a meeting. Of course, you can do it on email too. It's just a lot easier to actually do it on whatever you're working on. So, for example, let's skip on down to content feedback. So like right here, import customer personas. So instead of making an email about customer personas, I can just go here, make a comment, hit send, and it's all good. I would make sure that you mention a person, just because again, notifications are huge. Like nobody's going to be running through every single page in this dashboard all the time. That doesn't make sense at all. So make sure you mention when you comment. But that's kind of like our message board feature that's actually native to Notion. So you can delete this page and tell your clients this directly, or just keep the page here and make sure they understand how to message inside of Notion. So next we're going to hop on down to research and strategy. So the overall strategy for this example would be the overhaul of the current website's UI, integration of an AI chatbot, new SEO titles, implementation of a monthly blog, different call to actions, and we're going to simplify the landing page. So again, this is just kind of this goes with goals, but not quite, because this is kind of the down and dirty of it, exactly what we're going to be doing. So here we have a research tab. This is kind of where we can map out what we're going to be doing in the project. So we have a competitor's website, so we can look at their website, see the function that we like, the functions that we don't like, and kind of take some inspiration from that. Again, here's another website like that, where we can kind of just like take ideas from other people, not copy them of course, but just kind of see what's working for other people and put our own twist on it. And then finally, an SEO generator. So this is just how they're gonna use their keywords and create their keywords for this project. So that's the research and strategy tab. Let's head on down here to content and feedback. So this is like the main page, in my opinion. This is where all the good stuff happens. So this is where you actually track your projects, add in new projects, put if you've started or not, stuff like that. This is where the main sauce happens, so to speak. So you use this database. It's linked to the one on the home page, and then you can just add any new tasks that you're completing, stuff like that. Keep your clients up to date. And then down here you have content feedback. So this is also linked to that. This is where you approve, or your clients approve, excuse me. You can just put any approval needs that you have, and overall just kind of get some feedback on the project. Your clients can, of course. So once we're done with the content, we're going to go on over to assets. So again, this depends on what agency you're running, but this is where you would store like your logos, your typography, so your fonts, and then your color as well, so your hex codes, things like that, just so you're not asking the client for it all the time. And yeah, just good thing to have. Also, for some of these pages, I really recommend that you have your client fill them out beforehand. So like, you shouldn't be asking them for a logo and then you putting the logo in here. You should give them steps on what they need to do before you guys start. So they need to put their logo in here, they need to put their fonts, and they need to put their hex codes, things like that. Next, we got the password, sorry. So this is kind of a database of some software stacks that you might need throughout the project. So if you're posting on their Instagram for them, you probably want their Instagram password and username. Same with like LinkedIn, just some different softwares that you guys can use and have direct access to. So next we have the documents part. The first one is billing. So this is just a good place to have upcoming payments if you're on a month-to-month base, or even if you're just like one payment. It's really nice to have a paper trail here that just says I paid on this date, whatever, just so your clients can see that and you can see it, and it's just good to understand like when payments are due and what's been paid so far. So one cool thing that you can do in here is you can automate the invoice number. I don't have that included in this because all of our automations are on Make. But if you guys want to see a video on how to add in an automatic invoice number after they've paid it and to add the payment link, I could definitely create a video on that. So past billing, we're going to go to the proposal part. So this is just a really long, pretty much contract depicting what is going on, what the scope of the project looks like, and it's pretty much just all of the stuff that you need to complete the project. And it is a signed document. So if you have your own, which I'm sure most of you guys do, you can just put that in here after you guys both sign it. So next, kind of going on with that, you have the contract. So this is the legal binding contract, as pricing, all of that. Again, I think that this is a little bit redundant to have both a proposal and a contract, but you can easily combine those and delete one of the pages and do whatever works best for your business. So finally, we have the NDA, which is, of course, non-disclosure agreement. This is just a document between you guys if you're dealing with a lot of sensitive information that can really put your client at ease. Some agencies will have these, some don't. It really just depends on how you do business, but this is a place for you to store that. So that's a pretty quick overview of our client portal. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them down below. And there's also going to be a link below to this client portal if you guys want to copy it and use it in your own agency. All right, thanks guys, and please subscribe if you enjoyed.